Mrs. Hazel Monteith, Order of Distinction, Justice of the Peace, and stalwart of women's issues, and a voice for the underserved in Jamaica. She was a trailblazer, a founding member of the Citizens Advice Bureau, and a conceiver and conceptualizer of the Skills Training Center in the 1980s. In 1989, supported by the then Minister of Labour, Honourable Portia Simpson, and the Canadian High Commissioner, Kathryn McCallion, they helped her in breaking ground.
The reason that we support a project of this nature, where we've broken a few of our own rules, is its influence on the community and its capacity to be island-wide and reach out to a great many people.
All came out of a situation whereby so many unskilled, unemployed people visit the Bureau. If you would come here on a Monday morning, you would see that place filled with people seeking employment. But most of them cannot be sent out on a job because the society has now got more sophisticated and they prefer to have trained people.
Keynote speakers at the groundbreaking ceremony was the Minister of Labour, Welfare and Sports, the Honourable Portia Simpson.
By the ministry, we have been sending chambermaids abroad to the United States of America, and if we should receive requests for chambermaids, it's very important for people to be trained rather than having to search for people who've been in the tourist industry for a long time. We'll be able to have, for example, the Citizens Advice Bureau could be feeding particularly the Ministry of Labour if we get that kind of request with people who are trained and will be able to handle themselves.
Well, I'm hoping when this skills training center is open to achieve some sort of skill, either to do dressmaking, baking, or something that I can benefit myself and achieve something big that I can help to train somebody else what I've learned from here.
What do you think that this will do for the women in this community?
Well, it's a better thing more than to just, every day you're coming out looking job and, have a skill for yourself.
We are going to focus chiefly on income earning projects for women in terms of home economics, to include dressmaking, because they are very fascinated about dressmaking. And when they see what they have achieved in, say, even a mere 12 weeks, they are very, very proud. And so dressmaking, and we know that there is a demand for chambermaids, for people who do waiter servicing. And if the men, we are not excluding our men, because we actually had 2 men who participated in one of our programs. We hope to have repairs to small electrical appliances, because one of our co-chairpersons, he has already volunteered to have those persons trained, so the training will be
How much is it going to cost you to complete the whole thing?
Well, should be about, I'm not thinking in terms of, say, equipment, but from what we have seen, the quantity that we have arrived at, the estimate rather, is it would cost us about between $7,000 to $8,000 dollars.
You mean 700,000 to 800,000?
100,000.
Right.
So, yes.
It has to be.
You wondered. Yes, because although it's lined up there, the building will superimpose on this part of the school.
The Hazel Monteith Skills Training Center is a reminder of the legacy of Mrs. Hazel Monteith. She will always be remembered as one of the many Jamaican women who looked out for and advocated for the women who needed help, the women who needed skills to better themselves, both at home and abroad. Mrs. Hazel Monteith will be remembered, as she was indeed a story of hope, upliftment, and encouragement.